Hello again, welcome to the next video. In this one we're going to talk about crafting engaging images. So hopefully we'll be creating some images that your target audience can't resist clicking on. Why the image first? Basically because it's the first thing that people see about your ad, and it's also going to set the very first impression of your app. So this is why you need to make it high quality. If you've got a poor quality image, for example, say it's blurry, then people instantly assume your app is poor quality as well. So the role of the image is to capture the attention and to communicate a message. Once it catches a person's eye, they should be able to gather an idea of what the ad is for relatively quickly. So they should be able to see the image, you want to catch their eyes, they're scrolling through the news feed, and then once they do look at that image, you really want to communicate as quickly as you can what you're trying to advertise. You know, cat images capture people's attention, for example, but if you're advertising a finance app, then that ad's it's likely it's not going to be very effective. You'll catch their attention with the cat, and then they've got no idea what it's about. They'll read the text, oh, it's a finance app, not interested. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. When it comes to crafting your images, there are some guidelines that you need to follow. So probably the most important one is Facebook's rule that states you can't have more than 20% text in your images. They do actually have a tool available that allows you to check how much text is in the image, so I recommend you head on over and use that before you actually set your ads to live. And I've included the address below, so make sure you use that. Yeah, so they've got a recommended image size of 1200 by 628 pixels. And look, when it comes to creating the images, you can use Photoshop and tools like that. You can pay someone to do it for you if you like, but there are tools out there like Canva.com. And go and check that out. You can use tools like that to create the images as well. They've got some predefined templates, and they've also got some, a lot of stock images available. They're about $1 each, I think, on Canva, and you just drag and drop those. You can add some text over the top. You can quickly create your ads there too. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can create your Facebook ad images fairly quickly and easily if you use these tools. But again, I just want to reiterate that you should go ahead and check out Facebook's guidelines and rules. Make sure you follow them. Be aware that people do get their ad accounts banned from Facebook for not following the guidelines. So it's just something to be aware of. I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that, but just want to make sure that you're aware of that. Okay, so you're probably wondering what you should include in your images. So certain image styles and strategies are more effective for particular app categories. So you will notice once you start to scroll through and look at the app install ads in your Facebook feed that depending on the category, depending on the type of app, they'll use different types of images. My best piece of advice is to study the competition. Look at what your competitors are doing. That's my number one tip. If you think about what's going on with the big app publishing companies, they've got huge marketing departments. They've got people who are split testing different ads. They're running campaigns all day, every day. They're spending big dollars and they know what works. You can leverage that by looking at the ads that they're using in the App Store and studying the tactics and techniques that they're using in those images, and then using that as inspiration for your own. Now, I don't mean directly, go ahead and copy exactly what they're doing in their images, but definitely look at the elements within the images, definitely look at the techniques they're using and use those for inspiration. That's easily my number one tip for better ad images. Next up, we're going to talk about capturing the click with great copy. And what this means is convincing the user, once you've attracted their attention with the image, you need to convince them to click on the ad, and that's what the ad copy or the ad text is designed to do. Now you can see here that we've got an example ad again on the right, and I mentioned briefly in the earlier slide that there are two pieces of text that we can customize here. The first is the headline, and that's basically a very short piece of text, around 20 characters generally, though you can get away with it being a bit longer if you're using the Power Editor. But I do recommend keeping this very short and to the point. What you want to do is emphasize the app's key features or selling points in about 4 to 5 words max. That would be my recommendation. All right, let's look at the next piece of text that we can configure, and that is the body. So it's a bit longer. You do have a bit more to work with here, but it's best to keep it to 2 or 3 short sentences and really just get to the point of this is why you want this app. Basically, you want to emphasize your main features, your main call to action, and get it in as fewer sentences as possible. This is your chance to sell the app. This is going to be the last step before somebody decides, yes, I'm going to click on this ad, or no, this isn't for me, I'm going to ignore it. And I just want to mention the call to action again. And what I mean by a compelling call to action is using something other than just download now. So often you'll see, blah, 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 my app is great. Click the button below and download now. If you think about it, what does your perfect user want? They don't want to click a button and download now. They want to say, get free photos like this ad, get free prints. They want to race cool cars, whatever it is. So try to think of something really compelling. So this one here, they've said, why pay for prints? Okay, if you don't want to pay for prints, you click the button. It's much better than download now, click to download now, or something boring like that. So really try to come up with a compelling call to action. Now that you're getting an understanding of how to create a great image and great copy, the last thing I want to talk about is getting engagement with your app install ads. And this is often something that's overlooked. But if you can get your audience to actually engage with your ad, then you know you're onto a real winner. And what do I mean by engage? I mean liking your ad, sharing your ad, or leaving comments with the ad. If you can get this, if you can do this, you'll see massive performance improvements. And what I mean there is Facebook will actually reduce the cost of showing impressions of your ad if you can demonstrate that people actually like seeing it. So you'll reach more people for less money if you can create an ad that actually gets users engaged. Now, how do you actually get people engaged? I mean, you're probably thinking it's an ad. People are generally irritated by ads or don't like them, but you can actually get people to engage. And there are a few ways. First of all, if you use a controversial or topical image, something that's really relevant to what's happening in the news now or what's happening on social media, just find something that's really controversial or topical. Pose a question in your copy. That's a classic one. It's an easy one to do, but ask a question that people are going to want to answer, and it's going to generate some conversation in the comments. And the last one is use something polarizing in your copy. Use something that people have a strong opinion about and they're going to feel like writing about in the comments after seeing your ad. What I want to do now is show you a really good example of an app install ad that's encouraged massive amounts of engagement. The app is called Empires and Allies. It's a new app. You may have heard of it. And it just shows how you can get people to engage with an ad. Now here is the actual ad in question. We can see there it's just got one image of an aeroplane and it's just got a simple best of the best at your command. You're probably wondering why this has generated so much interest, but look down here. We've got 1.4 thousand likes and 63 comments. People are actually going to the trouble of liking this ad and of writing in comments, and they've generated a conversation based on an ad. So what are they saying? Well, let's have a look at what people are saying. Let's have a look at why they actually like it. Okay, so straight up, best air support aircraft for a foot soldier. Obama says it goes. Why? A-10 Warthog. Okay, so what they've done is they've leveraged the fact that Barack Obama wants to retire the A-10 Warthog from service. Okay, now this is obviously generating some controversy. You can see from the comments that it's a popular aircraft among servicemen and women. And Barack Obama wanting to get rid of it isn't popular among a lot of people. And people are reflecting that in the comments. People are seeing this ad, they're writing comments because of the image that they've used in the ad. A few more comments we can see over here. Just more of the same thing. People throwing their support behind the A-10 Warthog aircraft. They've seen the image, it's drawn them in because it's currently in the news, because there's currently some controversy around it. People feel the need to write comments and to click the like button on this ad. It's a really good example of one way to get people to engage with your app install ad. If you can find a way to do it with your own ads, you'll see a huge increase in performance. What happens is Facebook is seeing that people like this ad, people want to see more of it. So Facebook are going to go and show it in more news feeds, so you're going to get more impressions for less money. And that's how you really improve the performance of your app install ads.